time. Here we go. We are diving into our second semifinals. In the grand finals, of course, Bjorn, he is patiently waiting for the winner of this series.
I don't know how patient it's gonna be though.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, I know. Oh,
Yeah.
God. I haven't set up for the other one. It's so good. Ay, 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 porque aquí tenemos en la sección superior de la mapa duro escudo. Eso no es como se llama, pero eso que tengo. ¡Ah, tenemos! El jugador de Polonia. Yo iba a decir que era de ¿La mamá? De Rusia. Sí, aquí tenemos el Protoss. Aquí tenemos juntos, ponlo todos en la gente. Es Gerald.
Sí. ¡Uy, ay, ay! ¡Muy bueno! ¡Terperbot! ¡Ay, ay, ay! Y apareciendo aquí en alguna parte del mapa. En alguna parte del mapa tenemos al jugador Terran de color. Desde la tierra de Rusia tenemos al jugador que creo que es el profesional más viejo que queda, el Terranosaurus, si quieres llamar el que representa el equipo StarCom. Él es BratOK.
Nonsense, mate. Nah, that was good. That was good. I was completely thrown off because I had a whole thing for BratOK as well. I was very confused. Shaking my head. Oh my god, it's the second repair bot goes down. For those wondering what Yaku said in Spanish, he said the old man, as old as a Tyrannosaurus Rex, I think. Then he stumbled a little bit on that, I think, which was even better.
It was actually the Tyrannosaurus.
Ah, see. I was gonna call him the truth killer. I was gonna call him the liar. The liar. Spreading propaganda from the motherland. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's so good. It's so good. Here we go. We're diving into our semifinals, and I do think that this is going to be a little bit closer. It was like BratOK struggled quite a bit against Bjorn. There was a bit of a skill disparity. I appreciate that BratOK was trying to be cheeky and trying to throw Bjorn off, but Bjorn, he could not be thrown. He is not a dwarf.
What?
He can't be tossed.
Ah, Final Fantasy.
God. Lord of the Rings.
But are they not the same thing?
Shaking my head. There's no cat girls in Lord of the Rings.
That's what you think. You haven't read the Silmarillion.
True.
But yeah, I definitely agree with you there. I think this is going to be a pretty close matchup. Obviously, Gerald is the favorite here, but But all my eyes are on BratOK right now. He's already proven himself in TVZ. He's shown us how mad he can be, how mad his builds really are. And now I'm just curious as to what he throws out in TVP.
Yeah, I'm curious as well. Like, so far, this is looking pretty standard from Gerald. I say standard. By the way, I'm pretty sure he wants to go for a bit of a drop. Meanwhile, BratOK doesn't make his way into the main base. He was trying desperately to, and I imagine we're going to see a robotic spade. Oh, no, never mind.
That body blocking was way too good here from Gerald.
I was hoping for it, mate. I saw how early that Twilight Council was. I saw the robo. I was like, is he going to go for it? But yeah, there was a Twilight Council. It is more standard play. It is going to be Blink. Feels badge, man. I was spoiled by Beastork.
Yeah, Geralt, that's a pretty big shoes to fill now.
True.
BratOK actually going for 3cc before Starport in TVP?
Yeah, he is being incredibly greedy right now. I'm I'm shocked. You don't see this too often. We've seen this a little bit in the ESL Open Cups recently, but yeah, BratOK. It's crazy.
Well, it's about what I wanted here after witnessing his TVZs. Once again, just trying to sneak his way in, but yeah, without a starport for a medevac, those mines do not find an opening.
Yeah, this is a bit of a this is rough. Like, BratOK has tried time and time again to get in, and look at the units lost. Only a single adept has fallen this game. He's just thrown so much at the wall of Gerald, and just nothing is able to penetrate it. He hasn't even been able to scout. And meanwhile, on the other side of things, Gerald, he just waddles across the map with his observer, and he sees the fast OTC. And the timing of the starport. I'd be
shaking his head right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how often these two face against each other, but this is a new one on me specifically.
Yeah, I honestly,
I'm a little confused.
I feel like if there was War Prism here, I think Gerald could just win. Like, because of the opener, like, Stim is late, Combat Shields is late, like, there are Marines, but they're, like, vanilla Marines, so, like, they can't really protect these tanks too well. If Gerald had a little bit more firepower here, he probably could just blink in and maybe take advantage of the situation. Thankfully for BratOK, there is no War Prism. Like, there is none of that, like, additional warpins coming across the map, so he's relatively safe.
Unfortunately for BratOK, what is coming up here for Gerald is Storm. One of the best defensive spells IMO for PvT.
Yeah, I was really curious to see if Gerald was going to switch things up. For the people in the chat who weren't here last week, Gerald showed off a lot of his PvT against Bjorn. And the way that he was able to win his PvTs was with this mass gateway Haas-esque style, delaying things like Colossus, delaying disruptors, and focusing a lot more on gateways and Storm as your splash damage.
Oh, some Swarm Toss styles.
Yeah, yeah.
I tell you, if you're a Terran player who is used to disabling Colossus or EMPing High Templar, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded at a 360 angle by charge lots, it's not very fun. Let me tell you.
Yeah, like, I think this worked really well for Gerald last week, especially in the first couple of games. The problem is that Gerald kind of kept going for it, so over the course of the series, Bjorn was able to adapt, like, recognize how Gerald was playing and struggle in the beginning, but then adapt and overcome towards the end. Gerald also showed off a little bit of Stargate play, which had mixed results. But here we go, Gerald, he's going across the map. He just finished up, or he's finishing up his initial gateways. He has his Warp Prism. He can reinforce. He's going for it.
Oh, getting a little bit too... Okay. Keeps his Warp Prism alive. Not only his Warp Prism, but his High Templar as well. Had a lot of energy on them. He needs to make use of Storms to be able to... Or I guess not. I was going to say he needs to be able to utilize the Storms to take out the bio, but he's actually doing a pretty good job of dealing with them using only charge lots.
Oh yeah, so far so good. The Storms have been pretty on point as well. He did waste some of them though, so now he won't have them for the big engagement, but he just whoops in a round of Zealots back at home just in case. Now he can warp in on the front lines. He's ready to go once again, and if enough time has passed, he may have enough energy for one more Storm.
It's looking pretty good for him. The Marines trying to catch his Warp Prism off guard. Good EMP. We'll see if it's going to be good enough. The Warp Prism's getting low. That's the only thing I'm focusing on right now, like.
Oh god, and there we go. We do have the Storms connecting with the army. The tank falls as well. Some of the Widowmine shots earlier were honestly looking pretty good, but we still have one more Storm.
And there it goes. Is it going to be just enough for Gerald to keep up the momentum and to keep on pushing? The Marines want to get on top of that Warp Prism, but Gerald unsieges and dips away. BratOK taking quite a lot, sustaining a lot of casualties when it comes to his army, but not really taking much economic damage, I gotta say.
Yeah, like, BratOK, he holds on pretty strong, not gonna lie. He was able to keep the majority of his ghosts alive, and he is expanding behind this. This is the biggest thing, is that Gerald is not just up by one base, he's getting a 5th base now, when BratOK is struggling to get his 4th up and running. So and he's about to get his 4th tonight. Like, he's still on 3-base economy, you know? So, over time, Gerald will be able to swarm all over BratOK.
Yeah, maybe it doesn't matter so much that that BratOK was able to keep his SCVs alive when, you know, behind all of this, Gerald wasn't standing idle. He was keeping the army back, and he was just expanding, using that freedom to expand.
Pretty much. And speaking of expanding, BratOK just tried to expand, and he is being pulled apart. His 3rd base was left completely exposed. Now there's no mining happening here whatsoever. His army finally rotates around, but again, those storms, they're ready.
And waiting. One storm goes off, but the Warpism does get taken out. Oh, the entire Bio army, though, did stand directly in the center of it. BratOK, I mean, even if he holds on from here, I do not see him coming back economically.
Yeah, like, look at the work. What is this, a Zerg player? Like, Gerald, he's got 89 probes right now. He's got so much money to work with. He's gonna have so many gateways to work with, and he denied the 4th.
I feel for BratOK, man. He just wants to get his economy up and running, but Gerald is not letting it happen. That's the power of Swarm Toss. It is just such a mobile army composition.
Exactly. Like, we saw how solid Gerald... Oh, no, the ghosts are so exposed. Both of them get taken out. I was going to say that BratOK, his initial defense was looking really good, but as we saw, like, again, all that Gerald was really doing was just keeping the economy down of BratOK and making sure that maybe not the first push, but the 2nd, the 3rd push would be the ones to break the Terran.
I guess it really is another strength of Swarm Toss, right? It's not really a style where you work on your upgrades, you wait for your Colossus or what have you, and then push across the map. It is you bludgeon your opponent, you send out wave after wave after wave of charge lots until eventually they submit.
Yeah, and the problem is this is cheap. This is a cheap army.
Yeah, it's super cheap, yeah.
It's just gateway units, mate. Like, there's a reason why Gerald can't spend his money. There's a reason why he has a massive bank right now, because he just doesn't have the gateway count to spend. Like, he's getting another base. This is sick.
And he's got 98 working probes.
Oh god.
98.
And this
Look
is
that income difference, man.
Yeah, I don't want to look, but I will. It's oh god, it's so deep in the blue. Like, this is what happens when Swarm Toss gets out of control. And at this point, there is no way for BratOK to get back into this. Like, he's really struggling to even survive on 3 bases. He's barely mining off of a 2-base economy, essentially. Sure, he's got tech, he's got +2 on the way, he's had Ghosts for a while and Liberators, but he just doesn't have the numbers, you know?
Yeah. Well, this is pretty much going to be his final hurrah. Finally, the pylon gets taken out. But that's a pretty weak consolation.
Yeah. It's just the end of the end here. Look at how many storms there. Oh my god. The MP potential. No, there's no ghosts.
Yeah. There's no ghosts! Oh no! Maybe if he was able to EMP all those High Templar, he may have been able to buy himself another couple of seconds. So those are some really good EMPs, but there are just too many Archons at this point. Or are there? Are there?
I mean, BratOK takes the best fight possible. He will hold on. But again, he's on less than what? The Zealot, no, the Ghost! The Zealot run by catches the Ghost. There's just not a lot left here. That's the problem. Like, massive shout out to BratOK for fighting his heart out, because he is. But there's only so much you can do, you know?
GG is called, and Gerald takes game number 1.
Oh my god. GG.
Well played.
Oh god.
Great start here for Gerald.
That was a dominant start, mate. Like, I worry that that's going to be indicative of the rest of the series. And if I were in BratOK's shoes, I'd be like, all right, how many Raxes do I want to proxy? That's what I'm going to be thinking right now.
Just roll a 1d20. You know, get it all in there. Or I could play in BratOK stead.
I don't know if that'd be the best idea, but
I mean, what could go wrong?
Shaking my head.
But a little diamond player who hasn't played in a month. Against arguably the best Protoss player from Poland.
Yeah. So I think I would agree with that. I know there are a lot of old school fans that are gonna be like, "What about Mana?" And I'll be like, "What about Mana?" Like, there were periods where he was a much more dominant player in the region. Nowadays, I feel like the younger Europeans are kind of outshining him a little bit more. I would say that Gerald is probably the stronger player currently. Maybe in PvP, maybe some of these other Protosses can upset and excel that way, but Gerald has been improving so much.
Absolutely. Which is why he's looking poised to make another finals 2 weeks in a row.
Oh yeah. He's ready for it. But like, my question is, if he does make it to the finals, does he have anything new to offer beyond? You know, you like going for this same style over and over and over again. Like, again, Bjorn was able to adapt. He was able to begin to hard counter and expect certain run bys and expect this kind of composition. And that makes things a little bit easier as a Terran.
Yeah, I really think that that's probably the only thing that Gerald really needs to rectify at least in the short term. So, you know, Protoss, it's arguably the only race where you cannot play the same style over and over and over again.
Yeah. Or maybe you could argue that maybe he's utilizing this tournament as practice, you know, to refine this style as well. It's possible. It's
all perspective. Many reasons why players choose to sign up for the Sparkling Tuna Cup. I think usually it's because of Dogone Tuna. But regardless, we are going to be continuing our series now on Blackburn LE. It's actually the first time we're seeing this tonight, so do appreciate that. Here at the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner, we of course have a blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Polonia. Wait, I think that's actually a type of cheese, isn't it? Polonia. The land of Poland. He is going to be representing Storm Gaming. We have the Witcher himself. He is Gerald.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have the Russian Terran representing Team Starcom. It is BratOK. Boy, and hopefully the early game goes better for BratOK, because if you remember, in the last game, he threw away Marines, he threw away his Hellions, and he also threw away his Widowmines.
That was very unfortunate, but it definitely didn't help that he decided to go 3CC before Starport in TVP.
Yeah.
There's pretty much only one way of getting into a Protoss base as a Terran player, and that's via a scan, which... Actually, did he scan? Now I gotta wonder. Wait, hold up. Did he actually go for the early third orbital so he had extra NG for scans? That's what I gotta know.
I don't think he scanned.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing a scan, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, we could be wrong. Again, if you want to tune in and review some of these replays yourself, then you can. If you, of course, do subscribe to the Cranky Ducklings, we do offer all of these replays up to our subscribers, not just from this tournament, but also some others.
Yeah. The ones that we're allowed to, anyway.
True.
We got Sacramento Latino, we got Chopa Hyperion. And I think those are the only others.
We got Batalla de las Américas.
We got Batalla.
Oh.
We got Tenea.
Oh. We did cast a Day of an Apprentice last week.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. Okay.
Everyone's interested in Patty Mac replays. That's where you get them.
Yeah, Patty Mac did kind of stomp his way through his group, but will the same be so for the Protoss player here, as he does proxy a Stargate?
Well, we were talking about Gerald diversifying, and I am 100% in support of this.
Yes, thankfully this isn't the more abusive style of proxy Void Ray with shield batteries. It is just a faster way to, I imagine, get an Oracle out on the map and get into the mineral line.
Oh, it is, okay. I was gonna say, there's still a little bit of potential here, you know, that probe could turn around, throw down a pylon and a couple of shield batteries, but yeah, he is just playing it safe for the time being.
Exactly, and I'm just a little bit shocked. Obviously, it makes sense that our Protoss player would proxy because they're ahead in this series, so they can afford to take risks. But I did think that we would see more of this from our Terran player this game, so... God. We'll see how this Oracle does, as there is no missile turret, and
well, there's still a couple of Marines, a lot of Marines actually, but they do have some ground to cover.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, they will eventually force us away, but that's a lot of lost mining time. And 5. Can he get 6?
Yeah, I think he's out already.
Thankfully.
Yeah, just about. And I really did not, and I was really worried for a second that this Oracle was not going to make it out of there alive. He stared death in the face when he turned around to get that weakened SCV, but he gets a decent amount of SCV kills, and he's able to stay alive.
Yeah. That's what I'm most concerned about, right? Like, with the Oracle alive, now he can dip in, he can scout more. Obviously, he misses the drop. So now there's a lot of potential here as the double drop does unload in the main base. Gerald,
I actually think Stim is gonna kill Gerald.
Oh god, we'll see. Stim just now finishes. Oh.
Yes, like so. Maybe if Gerald can make use of the shield battery, I think that is his best hope right now. So we did a really good job of target firing the medevacs. Every sim hurts now.
And you were talking about it, the stims are hurting. It looks like all of these Marines will get cleaned up. The Widowmine was trying to do its best job to try and zone out, but the Widowmine doesn't burrow!
Once again, Geralt stares death in the face and says, not today.
Not today, mate, not today.
Just a little bit overeager, it seems.
Yeah, I'm just shocked because, I mean, at least a couple of probes did go down here. Like, at least some economic damage was done. But to lose not just the Widowmine, but to lose both medevacs, that hurts. That is devastating.
And Geralt is still ahead in workers when it's all said and done.
He's ahead in workers, he's ahead in bases, he's once again going for charge. I imagine we're going to be seeing some more gateways thrown down at some point. BratOK is going to try and go for a bit of a cheeky Widowmine drop, but only one Widowmine, and he gets spotted.
Just like so. Beautiful blink away. Geralt just super on top of things.
Oh my god. Geralt's even making use of the proxy.
Dude, might as well. You know, drops are annoying.
Yeah. Ay. Phoenix does come out to help shut all of this down. Meanwhile, +1 armor is on the way, so the Zealots are able to survive a little bit longer to close the distance and get on top of those Marines, on top of those tanks, on top of everything.
Look, he even throws down the stasis traps just to delay any potential pushes. Geralt is just a bully right now, is what it is.
Getting ready to go into the main base, but does tag the army. BratOK, he saw it coming a mile away at least. This time he's able to force Geralt back. But what is he really forcing back? Oh no, the drop!
Nice little pick off. Oh, he's gonna bait it. Oh? Okay, not quite. Now he is.
No, Geralt, he can go for the fight!
Oh,
he can go for it!
I do not want to be in BratOK's shoes right now.
This feels bad, man.
Oh, he's hurting the rest of the bio, and now the tank has 0 support. I think if Gerald wanted to, he could have tried to go for the other tank, but I guess he knew that the Stasis Ward was going to run out.
Yeah. He had a choice. Go for the tank or go for the CC, and he went for, and he got the CC.
He went for the better option, IMO.
Yeah. And now, look at the worker count. Look at the saturation. Gerald, he comes all the way back home.
Look at how many gateways he's got. It's pretty massive. It's alright, a little bit of a different opening, but yeah, when we get down to it, we're getting back to a very similar style here for Geralt. I think this is about the right window of opportunity for BratOK. There's no storm, there's no splash damage, and honestly, this is a pretty good position for Bio to be in.
It really is, but the Zealots, they surround the entire army. They close the distance. They will get on top of these tanks, and with the help of these Stalkers and Phoenixes, oh, he actually doesn't get any of the tanks. Oh my god.
Yeah, boy, a little bit of friendly fire there from the tanks, but when it's all said and done, BratOK still had a massive army. Here comes a complete surrounded charge shot, so... And is this gonna be enough? Geralt does not need to win here. He just needs to make sure he can keep this back, but he is unable to do so. Look at that army supply difference now.
Oh my god, I thought those tanks were done for, but it was not to be. More Zealots are coming in from the back line, but they don't. It looks like they'll barely take out one of the tanks. Can he hold on?
Maybe if he gets this other tank, but the bio is still looking very, very strong. A lot of BratOK's army is actually distracted by the proxy right now.
God,
a little bit of it.
It really is. Meanwhile, Geralt, he's being punished for his greed. He was taking a 4th base when BratOK was only on 2 bases here. It is a goal, to be fair, so there is comeback potential. Geralt, what does he have? He's getting a couple of Archons. You were talking about it. He didn't have any Storm.
Good feedbacks. Honestly, Archons with the potential of a super battery are deadly, but thankfully for BratOK, he is able to deal with that. You don't want to underestimate the splash damage potential of Archons, but at the same time, you don't want to dip that close into bio and tanks either, as a Protoss player.
Yeah, you really don't, and it looks like BratOK, he's doing it. Keep going, puppy, keep going. He backed up for a moment, but only for a moment. He's going to keep on pushing up this ramp. GG gets called. Geralt forces the 2-base all in, and BratOK says yes.
Yeah, I'm sushi. Beautiful. We're getting our ace match.
We're getting our ace match, mate. I was so scared when because the supplies were really even. You can even see in the army graph they were dead even.
Yep.
And Geralt was coming in from all angles with his charge lots. But they actually never got on top of the tanks. I was so impressed. I was so surprised. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, BratOK pulled back a little bit with his bio to make sure that his tanks had a little bit of that buffer. I got really worried for a sec when the tanks were shooting at the Zealots that were right on top of the bio, but in the end, I guess that's what happens when you don't have splash damage as a Protoss player.
Yeah, like, to be fair, that was very close. Like, BratOK was all in there. Like, he had to make something happen with that push, because if he didn't, we saw that BratOK was getting a 4th base. It was a gold as well. He was working on High Templar. He was working on Storm. If Geralt had gotten there, I don't think it would have been possible for BratOK to win. But that timing that he was able to hit was just in time. And wow, I'm shocked, and I'm glad that we have an ace match.
Yeah. I'm catching back up on stream right now, and that was a very desperate attempt from BratOK, but it is something that he absolutely needed to do, and he put his heart and soul into that push. You can see how low in energy those medevacs were at. And with that, he has another shot. We could still have that TvT finals as we continue our ace match, conclude our series here with our ace match. That's how the sentence should be structured. on 2000 atmospheres, LE, as we spawn into the top right-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner. We have our blue Protoss player coming out from the land of Poland. He is, of course, going to be representing Storm Gaming, arguably the best Protoss player from all of Poland, and looking to sneak into that top 3 players in general. He is Gerald. Gerald.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 Atmospheres ALE, we have the Russian Terran player representing Team Starcom and fighting back, being forced into an all-in and executing it beautifully. It is BratOK.
I'd say I'm a little bit worried that for Gerald, after that game, he decides, you know what, I'm just never going to stray away from what I normally do then. Since that did start with a proxy Stargate, I mean, a lot was going on that game, but it's a little bit hard to remember, but yeah, that is what started it all.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What I will say is that I feel like BratOK's ability to push out across the map the way he did was also pretty unique to Blackburn. We're on a larger map. Like, I think something important to note is that both games, I feel like the early game went really well for Gerald. Like, he's just been so dominant in the early game, and typically the longer the game goes on, like, those early game advantages, like, they kind of expand upon themselves, and they do really impact the game later on.
It's domino effect.
Yeah, like, I don't know if BratOK can do that again, but we'll see, as he has a pretty interesting opener here.
Yeah, not quite a 3 racks, not quite a 2-1-1. Something in between.
Yeah, I was just... Yeah, the fact that he opened up with a second racks is a little bit shocking to me. It does mean that he'll be able to start working on upgrades pretty quickly with this tech lab. So I'm kind of digging this so far. There we go. Very fast stim.
Now we should be seeing that starport pretty soon. This one stalker is preventing all mining at this base.
Yeah. It's kind of the downside. At the moment, we have a couple of Marines, and the Protoss player can micro his heart out against this. Like, as long as he doesn't mess up too hard, he should be able to shave away these Marines.
Yeah, that range advantage is absolutely massive. Without stim, there's no way for these Marines to really close the distance.
Yeah. And just like that, 4 Marines get traded for 1 Adept. Now a second Stalker comes into play as well. But BratOK has the high ground. Ooh, nice focus fire. Almost gets the Stalker.
It's over, Gerald.
Is BratOK Obi-Wan? Is that what's happening right now?
That's an ambitious crossover, I gotta tell you. Obi-Wan in the Witcherverse.
Oh my god. Oh!
No. Beautiful connection on the high health stalker, and now Gerald, or BratOK rather, has a lot less to worry about as he just works on his upgrades. Gerald has not dipped into the main base, by the way, so has no idea that 2-on-1 is coming his way, but he is opening out safe regardless, getting observers out, getting that safety blink.
I kind of love this. So BratOK, he's going across the map. Unfortunately, he's not going for like a push, but he can't because he lost so many Marines already, so he's just going for a single drop. Stim will finish, and there's potential here. Blink isn't done. He avoids the Stalkers. The Stalkers. What you said. Barely he avoids the Stalkers. He will land here in the main base. We do have there we go. We do have a recall.
I believe boost was already utilized. Some very nice target firing and some very nice stimming on top of these probes. 6 of them go down, as well as a couple of stalkers. For the first time in the series, Gerald is not up to a good start.
Yeah, it wasn't just the 6 probe kills. It wasn't just the stalkers, but like even early on, like losing a stalker, the high health stalker to like a Widowmine, like things are going BratOK's way. which means he loses, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's the rule of BratOK, I guess. Yeah, but we'll see.
We will see. We have a follow-up job. No,
How does he keep that medevac alive? I could see the panic in his clicking, in his rallying. He's like, "Oh, why do I click?" We've all been there. We've all been there, BratOK. I feel ya. I feel ya. Well, at least he's able to drop the load, so he doesn't lose too much here.
Yeah, feels bad, man. Eventually, the drop does get found out. Oh, he actually gets one of the stalkers. A little bit of miss micro there by Gerald, but he should be able to handle the rest of these no problem. And, ooh, Gerald actually throwing down a Dark Shrine behind this.
Oh, I love it. So, yeah, sort of stroke his beef a little bit.
Yeah, I am still a little bit scared, though. Like, because of the opener, we actually don't have any tanks whatsoever. It's bio mine. So Blink Stalkers may have an easier time just getting around this army. Maybe, you know, blinking into the main base, sniping some add-ons. We'll see.
They absolutely will. I mean, Stemmed Bio is pretty dang good against Blink Stalkers, but without those tanks to zone them away, I mean, Gerald just has complete freedom of movement. Also, as well for BratOK, he did not opt for a Raven this time, and he's utilizing the energy on his orbital commands quite liberally. I mean, he's muling like never before.
Yeah, he is. Meanwhile, DTs actually land in the main base. The War Prism will get picked up, and so will these DTs. But at least the attention of BratOK is being stretched a little bit thin. Didn't go for a drop at the same time. Oh, goes for the main.
Where there's no detection, but there are stalkers.
There are stalkers. The Widowmines aren't going to get too much damage. It will be cleaned up at the same time. Oh, BratOK. Right, he's getting ready. He's getting ready to move out. Once again, no third CC.
Well, it's now or never for BratOK, ain't it? Gerald is just about going to be finishing up his Zealot charge, and he's got a really healthy saturation on spaces.
He just needs army. Once again, he has to be careful not to be too greedy. Like, look at the worker disparity. Like, again, BratOK is going 2-base all in right now. And if Gerald spends too much money on things like his economy, then he's not going to be able to hold on, just like the previous game.
Well, potentially a little bit of a premature stim. The Widow Mines do not get the connections they need. And the bio is just not quite there for BratOK.
Yeah, unlike the previous game, Gerald actually has a buffer this time other than just Zealots. He has some Archons. Obviously, he doesn't have a War Prism, so he's having a hard time keeping them alive, but he forces away a lot of this army, and more importantly, he took out a lot of those medevacs.
Obviously, a really good trait for BratOK, but the important part is that he has lost some momentum. Gerald has pushed this army back, and he doesn't need to keep going all the way. He can just retreat back to his third base and focus on his economy, but Geralt wants it to end.
He
wants
just doesn't stop.
Rematch Björn.
He's not stopping at all. We have another warping of Zealots behind this, and there's just no tanks, there's no Widow Mines, there's no anchor point here for BratOK. It's just bio, and it's so vulnerable right now against what Geralt has.
Now where does he go from here? The 2-base all-in did not quite succeed, and again, he's just not working on a third base at all.
Yeah, it's one of those things where maybe BratOK should just pull the boys with his push.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
maybe he should have done that earlier.
Yeah, like, hey, if you're not gonna make a third base, then just commit, you know? Just, like, pull all the boys, you know, throw down some mules as well in front of your opponent, why not? Like, just go all the way, because at this point, again, the longer this goes on, Gerald has a 4th base. He's also fully saturated on 4 bases. Like, he's working on disruptors as well. Like, he's just got everything.
But it's not too late still for BratOK as he pulls the boys, or he pulls some boys.
Yeah. We'll see.
I mean, it gives
Maybe.
him a little bit of a buffer.
No, I mean, to be fair, BratOK does have the army supply advantage now with boys. Like, he's gonna have even more. Gerald skipped Storm, so he doesn't really have any splash damage at all. Oh my god.
It's interesting that he went for DT Blink instead.
He has a load of DTs, and Blink is about to finish. Oh god, not like this.
The armies do clash. The mines are starting to burrow. A lot of them actually picked off before they can really establish themselves. Those mines actually burrow and unburrow?
They borrowed, and their shots went off on the zealots.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so still pretty decent for BratOK, but all Gerald needs to do is weather this storm, because after this, BratOK has no options left.
After this, Geralt is the one who's going to get the storm, and just like that, BratOK's army just evaporates here against the mass zealots, the mass DTs. Who needs splash damage? Who needs storm? Who needs AoE? Not Geralt.
Yeah, all you gotta do is blink, and your army's dead.
Just blink, mate.
Yeah, just blink.
Ugh.
Liberators are coming in. Still too little too late. I am going. Boom goes the dynamite. BratOK still had a pretty significant army advantage. But now it is completely gone. He has higher supply, or had higher supply, but keep in mind, a lot of that supply is medevacs.
Yeah, that's basically all he has left. Medevacs. He is going harassing across the map with some liberators, but we got some stalkers warping in. Sure, some probes get taken out, but Geralt couldn't afford to lose workers at this point. Nice catch. Gets an immortal.
Oh, potentially an observer as well. I love seeing splash damage work like that.
Uh-oh.
But once again, I mean, we're just looking at the supplies. I thought he was going to pull the boys a second time, but no, he's actually lifting up his main. GG is called, and Gerald will take that series 2-1 and face Bjorn in a rematch from a week ago. GG. I almost clicked exit game. I'm glad I didn't. We're hopping back to Americas.
We are. GG, well played. Congratulations, Geralt. But a massive shout out to BratOK because he made it close, and I'm very impressed with what he was able to accomplish on Blackburn. Like, I thought he was dead. I thought he was already in the grave, mate. Things were looking so good for Geralt that game.
Age good. Chipmate. But yeah, I 100% agree with you there. I'm just honestly looking at the bracket today. I knew BratOK was going to do well. I did not expect him to go all the way to the semifinals.
Again, like, let's not take away anything from BratOK, even though he got knocked out here in the quarterfinals. Like, his 2-0 over True was crazy. Like,
absolutely massive.
I remember being like shocked and like just speechless after that series. Like, that was. Yeah, that was amazing.
Well, speaking of amazing, we do have our finalists, and our players are going to be doing that vetoes, but before that, we have a drum roll, don't we?
We do. We do have a drum roll. It is that time of the week. Yaku, what time of the week is it?
Late o'clock.
What are you saying?